Hello, it is Kat,
And this is Kotzy Day. And this
and
is
this is the
the
Cozy
Kotzy
Cat
Cat Chat.
Chat. Was that better the second time? I don't know.
We're getting so close. We're getting so close. But we're
We're
going to
getting
leave
so
it
close.
there because we're so human and I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. How are you doing today, Kat?
Well, it is Friday for me, so it is weekend.
Yes. Yes. Super excited. Mm. Okay, so we're going to be talking about games, right? That's what we're going to be talking about?
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of what I'm streaming tonight, we are talking about what we're playing and starting with Critter Cove. I'll be streaming Critter Cove
Yes.
tonight. By the time this goes live, I'll have already streamed it, so you can go watch
Hmm.
that VOD. But Kotzi, I think you're also playing Critter Cove as well.
Yeah, I have played a few episodes of it actually, few live streams of it. I did a video of it first, that released I think Sunday or Monday, the day before it came out, and then I did 2 more days of it after that, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate the devs at Critter Cove, like the developers of Critter Cove, because they were so kind in the way that they opened the door for even tiny content creators like me to be able to stream it prior to its official release.
Yeah,
So that's been really, really neat. But
right. You said this was your first dev.
yeah, it was
Um,
the first key from a dev that I have gotten at all. Like that, I will never forget. Critter Cove, the team at now I have to pause and look this up because I'm a terrible person and I forgot what the dev team was.
Here you googling.
I know, right? Well, I'm going to the Steam page. I'm going to the Steam page. Gentleman Rat Studios. How did I not remember that? My gosh, it's like the single one I didn't put in on my notes. By the way,
Yeah, I thought you had put all
it's
those
the
in for your
single
notes.
one I didn't do. Golly. Facepalm moment, guys. So sorry. We should just edit that
Yeah,
part
I'm so
out,
excited
please.
for you. You're editing your video, so good luck with
I
that.
know. You're like, I'm putting it in. But yeah, so yeah, the very first Steam key I have gotten, or game key I've gotten, period, from a developer or publisher. Gentleman Rat Studios. I think the guy's name was Rob who sent it to me. Thank you so much, Rob.
Hmm.
um, and I mean, like, they didn't like find my channel or anything. Like, they sent out um an announcement that said no matter how small, like if you're an active content creator, go ahead and reach out to us. And I was so
Yeah,
nervous. I remember like reaching out to you and telling you like how nervous I was. I was like, should I? Like, I'm
and
really
I was like,
tiny
do
though.
it,
this
do
was
it.
like this was like right after I hit 200, I think. Like, so I
Hmm.
was like tiny itty bitty. And so I was like, okay. And I sent the email, and you can tell by my email because I was like, I know you said no matter how small, but if I am too small, like, that's okay, like, and everything. And they sent it to me. So I guess they were true to their word. They were like, no matter how small. And I was active because let me say, I was like at 80 videos at that point, 80 or 90 videos, and I'm now at 121. So I'm freaking active. Oh, golly. But yeah, and did they send it to you or did you reach out to them? Like, how is that for you? Because I think this is like a really interesting look at like small versus like a larger content creator. I guess not like, not
I
like
don't know if
huge,
I
but
would
like
call myself larger. I am like
you're significantly larger than me
semi-medium.
though. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, but other creators like Josh and Peyton have like 20, 30,000.
Oh no,
And then
50
even
or
up to Iona, who
60.
I think is it 50 or 60 now? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
they've
50
been
or 60.
flying, those two.
They've been soaring. I think Min is more on a level with you, Nintendo Gaming,
Hmm.
who's really awesome as well. But yeah, and then I know Cozy Gaming Club, Ellie from Cozy Gaming Club. I think
Mhm.
7 or 8,000. But then there's
And even
like
Sarah
people like
Sunstone's
Iona.
been blowing up too. Yeah,
Oh
Iona, I
yeah.
don't think anyone's gonna reach Iona.
Yeah, yeah. Or oh, who's the one who does Nintendo Talk.
Mhm.
He's also really big as well. Those two, like, and then Cozy K, of course. Like,
Mhm.
just the
I follow
super
Kosuke.
huge names. Like super huge names that I'm like, I don't even consider that goals. I'm I'm happy if I get to 1,000. That's where I'm at. That's where my personal goals are
And I
currently.
was there once. I was there once, Kotzy, and now I have 6K. So now my goal is
Yeah.
10K.
Yeah, which
And I'm sure one
congrats.
day.
Like, I
Thank
would
you.
clap, but I don't want to break people's ears. So happy for you. I remember,
Well,
gosh,
thank you.
what did we celebrate? It was Terraria was for 4,000 when
It
we
was
celebrated?
Terraria was 4K. So, yep.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. And that was only like a year and a half ago, right?
It was last July. Yeah, July 2023.
Yeah, so not even a year and a half ago. Like just a year and a few months. That's
Mhm.
absolutely insane. Crazy growth. Congrats, Kat. That's amazing.
Oh,
Almost
thank
double.
you.
That's almost double. Holy wow. 75% growth increase. Golly. Oh gosh. But yeah, so Critter Cove, it's like an open world creature collab, like just life
I'd
sim, and
call
it's
it
really fun. Go ahead.
I'd call it post-apocalyptic Animal Crossing.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be spot on. That's like
Mhm.
on the nose. Um,
I played the demo for it and I really loved it, so I'm pretty jazzed to stream it tonight.
I'm blown away by how beautifully like put together the graphics are. Like just
Mhm.
the water and the colors, everything is just beautifully done. Like I am so blown away, and it doesn't run poorly on my laptop, which is what I stream and run a game on, you know, like and keep up with YouTube and make sure, like, I have like 3 different programs going at once. It's OBS for the recording and the streaming. It's the
Mhm.
game, and then it's YouTube so I can keep up with chat. And my laptop struggles sometimes. Even though it's a gaming laptop, it's not meant for like streaming or anything like that simultaneously. And
Mhm.
so I was very impressed with how well it ran. I had next to no issues with Critter Cove and how it ran on my laptop, which is absolutely like mind blowing. It's crazy, especially compared to like then you look at Fields of Mystria, and my computer
Mhm.
struggled, and that's when you wouldn't think it would struggle on, but it
Mhm.
did. But it did. So that's just all to say, like, Critter Cove, like the team there, optimization and everything, you guys, thumbs up. I mean, you guys know what you're doing. Seriously.
And
Gentleman Rat
it's still early
Studios, good
access, isn't
job.
it?
Yes, it is still early access. Came out on the 10th, and I don't think they have time frames on their roadmap currently. So I'm looking at the roadmap right now. It just has like things that they want to do. Um, Nothing is dated at this point.
Mhm.
Um, it just has what the 2 major like following updates that they want to put out will contain, and that's it. So, yeah. But yeah, I've been loving it. It's so quirky, it's so funny. I've been saying the wrong name for one of the characters, and it's become a thing.
Which character so I don't make the same mistake?
Pokey. I've been calling her Pico the entire time.
Oh.
I don't know why. There's some character or something on another game that I played recently that was like Pico instead
There's an
of
Animal
Pokey.
Crossing.
I know.
There's an
Yeah,
Animal
someone else
Crossing
said Animal
character,
Crossing,
Pico.
but I'm about to get
Mhm.
a lot of flack for this. I don't really like Animal Crossing. I never have gotten into it. I
Oh
know.
no.
Gasp.
I don't think you're
Oh.
allowed to say that in cozy game circles.
I'm not a fan of the 24-hour game span, like following real time. I
Yep.
I like to sit down and obsessively play a game. And if a game forces me to measure my playtime, that's almost immediately a nope for me. Which is not healthy, not good. But I mean, that's truth right there. That's truth right there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I love the characters. I love the idea of it. I just wish you could have a feature where you turned it off of 24-hour real time. That's it. I wish you could just play it obsessively.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you on that. It is nice to when you're like just going through and like doing a whole makeover on your island, then it's fun. Then it's nice to have the daylight while you have the daylight. So yeah. Do you have anything else to comment? I'm just looking at your cat, and it looks like you're wearing like a watermelon cat mask, like headpiece.
Isn't it so
Because,
cute?
like,
oh yeah, I
your
my character
hands
is a green
are
cat.
not
It's
green.
so cute.
Your hands aren't green.
I know. I have like tan on my legs, like on my hands and feet. It's like the same color as like my inner ear or whatever. And then the rest of it is like layers of green. Yeah, my green cat. I created a whole new character. I started over. I didn't carry over from the demo, which is something that you can do if anybody's interested in playing the demo but don't want to lose their like progress. If you play the demo, it will carry over into the early access game once you purchase it. So you don't have to worry about losing content. But yes, I wanted to create a whole new character. I liked my first character, but I didn't love it. And then I knew exactly what I wanted to do after I received that key. I was like, I want to be a green cat.
Yes.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to be a green cat. And so I was. And I love it. I love it. I love my character now. It's so much fun. But yeah, it's a lot of just repairing a derelict archipelago. Basically, instead of a town, instead of a house or a farm, it's a series of islands that you're repairing and helping find all of these lost characters all over the place, lost islanders, bringing them back and helping build this island into a tourist destination. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fetch quests, a lot of crafting, a little bit of farming, not too much. Lots of exploration though. Lots of exploration. And it's such a delightful world to explore too. It's delightful.
Yeah, and one of the cool things is you're not starting with like a blank base. You're actually taking a settlement that was there, basically recycling pieces, right? Because like when you take stuff apart, you learn those items the more you take apart, and then you can actually build those back again.
Yeah, that's like how you learn most, like the vast majority of your blueprints is you are breaking a certain amount of things down. Like it varies from item to item. And that's how you learn the vast majority of them. Yep.
Yeah, like lamps and benches. I thought that was one of my favorite mechanics from the demo. Yeah. And I just love that you're repairing and rebuilding as opposed to just, oh, you inherited an island, now you get to do something with it.
Yeah, repairing, rebuilding, and recycling. Like 3 R's. Repair, rebuild, recycle. But yeah, it's really, really neat. It's really, really well done. It's very clever. It's different enough to be very, very interesting and intriguing and attention catching, but they didn't take it too far to where it's clunky or it's awkward or it's weird. Like they did just enough in all of the right places, I think. And it just made it wonderful and really fun to play.
I'm excited to play it tonight.
Yeah,
and hopefully I'll be able to do more than one episode. Yeah.
Right. And you never know.
So what's another? You've been also playing Chef RPG as well?
Yes, that's the other one I've been playing yesterday and today. So I got it right away when it came out. It is currently $19.99 USD. They didn't have like a launch discount like a lot of them do, but that's totally fine. This one is also out in early access. And you can tell it's out in early access. Like with Critter Cove, I feel like you almost can't tell until you come to like the end of story content. But with Chef RPG, you can definitely tell that it's early access. Not in a bad way, at least not for me. There are some bugs. There are some like little quirks and things like that happen. Like when you're changing your outfit in the morning, like sometimes your character is not your character in the little portrait area. It's like this blonde dude instead of my green-haired android, which is a little quirk. And sometimes like the hair on my android when I first wake up will be brown instead of green. Like, but once you put the clothes, like switch clothes or something like that with the character, it goes right back to the character you created. So it's like just like a weird little quirk on that one. But I know some people have gotten frozen and had to be unstuck. And then yesterday I got booted from the game. And then came back in, and I think it was OBS. I'm not sure it was the game, but I think it actually might have been OBS and the game interacting. Because then they had 2 updates, and it played beautifully today. I had no issues today whatsoever.
Oh, great.
So they're very active on quality of life fixes, bug fixes, like all of that. And Chef RPG is exactly what the name is. Like, it is a chef role-playing game. Like, that's what it is. And there's a little bit of farming that you get to eventually. I haven't even reached it yet, honestly. But the vast majority of like what you're doing is like gathering your ingredients by foraging, fishing, and hunting. And then you're using all of those ingredients plus whatever you purchase to make dishes in your restaurant that you were given charge of by, I guess, a mentor, Chef Casteau. And you make you're trying to like revitalize this restaurant. That's always a theme, right? With these games is you're trying to revitalize something. Something has fallen into disrepair or dereliction, and you're trying to now like breathe life into it. And there are over 240 like recipes already included in the game. There are 20 important NPCs, like I think romanceable NPCs, and then there are 30 minor NPCs on top of that. And and when they say it's a dense semi-open world, like it is dense, unless you start in winter. Like I did. So I started playing this game and I streamed it and I did all the wrong things. So if you want to see how to play Chef RPG on hard mode, you go watch my streams and my videos for Chef RPG.
But you can pick the season you start?
You can pick the season. Isn't that such a cool mechanic?
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Okay, so and I still do. I'm gonna say I still love it. But yes, you can pick what season you move in. And I love that. That's such like a small but refreshing mechanic to be able to choose the season that you come in on the game on, because you don't move always in spring. Like, life doesn't always happen in spring where you have to uproot your life. And so I love that, like, really simple but refreshing mechanic. I think that's really cool.
And I love seeing the trend now with huge casts of characters.
Yes.
Like, gone are the days of 12 NPCs with 4 romanceable characters. It's like 80 and then 20.
It's insane. Yeah, I'll be honest. I actually I feel a little overwhelmed by it, honestly. I haven't felt overwhelmed by a game in so long. I didn't even feel overwhelmed with Sunhaven, which is weird because it had way more in it. But I think it's because of where I started, in part. Because I feel like I'm missing a lot. Because there's no foraging to speak of, really.
There's no foraging?
Because I started in winter. Everything's
Oh,
dead.
right. You started in winter.
I started in winter.
Say there's no foraging
Everything's
in the game.
dead.
Makes no sense.
No.
It's winter.
There's an absolute like metric ton of foraging in the game.
Oh, wow.
And
I wonder if the devs will do something to balance that out.
I mean, it says it in the seasons. I'm gonna totally like expose myself here. Like, I was a dumb nut, and I was like way too stoked. No, I was way too stoked and didn't even see it. They give you descriptions of each season when you look at it when you're starting your season, and it's like there's all this in spring, summer, fall, and then you get to winter, and it's like it's frozen, nothing's growing, there's limited hunting, and there's some fishing.
So they prefaced you, and
yeah, they preface it, and I just didn't see it because I was so excited that I was like getting to play it finally, and that my brain just completely glossed over it. Didn't even register. And then on top of that, you get a specialty that you get to pick. So like you specialize in making meat dishes, fish dishes, etc., so on and so forth. Well, I had to choose mixologist, which requires a lot of fruit and herbs.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be alcohol, right?
Alcohol, fruit, and herbs. None of which you start with in winter.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I went hard mode on it, like right out the gate, like total dumb nut. And it's like a whole joke now every time, like with the streams and everything. And it's pretty funny.
It would have been funny if you got like a pop-up box that was like, "Are you sure?
I know.
Are you really, really sure? You know you picked winter, right?"
Oh gosh, I know, right? It'd be so funny. But yeah, it's given me it's definitely giving me information to like when people ask me, "Oh, is this game good?" Well, yes, even in winter it's good. Like it's fun even in winter. I do think there needs to be some rebalancing with the fishing. I like the mechanic. I like the mini game, the game that they have going, but the level of difficulty to catch a fish, you're only catching like 2 out of 8, maybe even 1 out of 8. It's the rod is just not strong enough. Like you can't up your skill. Like I think it's too difficult right now. And
I feel like fishing is one of those mechanics in cozy games that is so hard to get right.
It really is. Well, and I love a fishing mechanic. Like, if anybody knows me, like, I love a fishing mechanic. Like, we both adored Ever After Falls. Like, fell in love with it. I love Stardew Valley's fishing mechanic. I love Roots of Pacha's fishing mechanic. Like, and those are all so different. All of them are completely different. And I love them all.
100%.
They're so much fun. They're so much fun. And I would love this one if it were well balanced, but I don't right now. I don't have any clue how to up my skill with it. I don't have any clue how to get a better rod, or who to go to for that. I think
at least it's early access, so there's still hope.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I think it's definitely going to be one of those things on their agenda, and I think that's part of what early access is for. Like it's partly for the testing, like with a broader audience. It really should be done in alpha and beta, but it's kind of morphed into like beta has kind of morphed into early access. I don't think it should, but it has. And you're getting a lot of feedback that's what the devs are counting on. They're counting on a lot of feedback for adjustment, and they're counting on the money, like the influx of income to keep the game going, and I'm almost certain it's going to get rebalanced, or that something's going to happen where you can upgrade. They'll figure it out. And I think the way that you upgrade, I have a suspicion it's with the fisherman, and you have to have like a higher social likability with him or something like that, but that's down the road. So, but yeah, it's really fun overall. It definitely needs work. You can tell right off the bat, but it has really fun cooking mini games that I'm terrible at, by the way. terrible at. I got a 14 and a 17 out of 100 on some
How
of
do
these mini
they
games.
how do they compare the cooking mini game? How does that compare with Kinseed's cooking mini games?
Oh, Kinseed hands,
Those
like,
I'm familiar
yeah,
with.
those are, I mean, those are far and above better, for sure, for sure. Um,
Kinseeds are?
yeah, Kinseeds are way better. But they're not as, these ones are more repetitive. They're smaller, because you're in an environment where you're cooking in a kitchen in a restaurant for
Mm-hmm.
customers right then and there. So that in itself is making it different. So you have to have a lot smaller scale games. You can't have the same scale of games that Kinseed has. And
Mm-hmm.
there's currently at least not batch cooking that I could find, which I think they should add, as a skill maybe farther down, but or like kitchen prep or something for like salads and soups or something like that. But anyways, that's neither
Mm-hmm.
here nor there. But like it's like DDR with your arrow keys for one of the
Oh.
games, and then another one is timing on a circle, like you have to hit like the mark on the circle.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one is staying within the frame, kind of like Stardew Valley, like fishing, like you have to like stay within the marker on a scale, like on a sliding,
Mm-hmm.
moving scale. But after you reach a certain score, like 95 or higher, you can automate it. And that's for like all of the common level recipes. You automate it, which I did automatically because I'm like, I am really bad at this. And then Miracle of Miracles, one time I got 100, specifically on the stove one. And I was like, automate immediately because I don't want to be giving people charcoal or like
Automation
uncooked
saves
dishes.
lives.
Yes, automation saves lives when Kotzy's cooking and Chef RPG.
I think we're going
Exactly
to
so.
segue from talking about Chef RPG into Traveler's Rest and Kinseed.
Yeah.
I know we both. See, I just came back from a hiatus, which is why I didn't have much to offer in the what we are currently playing category. That will
Right.
soon change by our next one.
Which,
But I've
welcome
been
back.
playing
So happy you're
Traveler's.
back.
I'm glad to be back. So I've been playing Traveler's Rest.
Mm-hmm.
My subscribers love it. I love the
Mm-hmm.
game. Another early access that's done very well. And then you've been playing Kinseed, I see. Actually, almost weekly, it seems, right?
It is weekly. Yeah, I try to keep it in once a week at least. Yeah. But you talk about Traveler's
Um,
Rest first. You try, like, you've done a ton with it. I want to know like what the
I
most recent ones are. You've done like how to make money.
Yeah, so I reached year 2. I was level 20 was my
Mm-hmm.
last like major stream for it. And then I started to get questions in my comments for all of my videos. So I
Yep.
did a beginner's guide of to start up. The most recent one was the money making guide for between levels 1 and 5. Basically, how to set yourself up to start making money.
Right.
And then my first stream back was 2 days ago, and that was more Traveler's Rest, mostly to get myself just back into streaming again.
Right.
It's a game I love, and I knew people wanted to see it.
Mm-hmm. Always
And I
love
started,
Traveler's Rest.
yeah, yeah. There's just something with the core loop of it that is so addicting, and that everything else on it is just icing on the cake. So whenever they do
Right.
changes, whenever they do additions, you're always looking forward to something. But the core game doesn't change, and the core game is so much fun.
Yeah, and it just
But
doesn't
I
get
did
old. It doesn't get old.
No, it doesn't. And so I started a brand new file actually, because the new file I started at level 5, because at this point I've had a lot of requests in like, okay, so after you hit level 5, when you start unlocking your inn, when you start unlocking your staff, how do you make money? Because people will jump in too early to those
Mm-hmm.
mechanics and then wonder why they're being bled dry and why they can't keep
Mm-hmm.
a gold to save their life. So I was testing some things like different crops to grow, different recipes to use,
Right.
that will help. So basically, I'm recording footage at this point to do the next video, which is the levels 5 to 10 ish, the end of spring into summer money guide. And then I've
That's
also
exciting.
had requests. Yeah, requests for cooking guide and requests for a farm animals guide as
Ooh,
well.
yeah, that'll be a good one.
You guys know how much I love farm animals in these games.
Ranching, cat's favorite.
Ranch.
I heard there was something about melons in this last one. Is there going to be a video on that?
Oh, which one?
The melons?
Oh, the melons. I thought you said villains, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're like, who are the villains? Although, story-wise, it kind of sounds like there will eventually be villains.
Yes.
Other innkeeper villains, which I'm stoked about.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, so as far as melons go, if you want an early money tip, focus on the melons. That's for you, Jess and JoJo. That's for you. Anyway, so I'm going to hop over and talk about Kinseed. I know we had, before we started, we almost went into like a whole dissertation discussion about our backlogs. And you said Kinseed, that's why you've been playing it. So go ahead on that one.
Oh, no. So, like, I want to play Kinseed more than I even am right now, and I'm playing it once a week. I think the reason I got started more than anything, one, because I love the game, but then two, I just have people who, you know, started with me when I started the channel in May, who just loved Kinseed. I have like a dependable group of people who are going to be there every Wednesday, Thursday with me, depending on which day it is, and we just do it to have fun. Like, it's not for views, it's not for popularity, it's not for anything. It's just for the pure enjoyment of it, because it's such a good game. It's so much fun. It's so irreverent. Like, it's so naughty. Like,
oh yeah.
But like in a broad audience way. It's not like too far. Like, it makes you cringe a little, but it's nothing like too overt or too over the top, which I very much appreciate. It still keeps it in like a semi-family like oriented genre. Like, but not that I would recommend it for anyone under 14, but like 14 and up, please. But it's just fun, and it has endless replayability. Like, you can go and go and go, and they're still adding stuff. I love that they added to the map. You know how like they added people's homes getting destroyed and everything. Sorry, spoilers for anyone who has not been playing or not been watching. Letting you know now, spoilers. People's homes get destroyed periodically by like the goblins and everything like that. And I love that they started adding on the map, because once a week they'll pop up in different regions. They started adding it on the map. And that's one of my favorite new features now, is like going to those gates and like getting to fight those guys outside of like the woods, you know, simple wood, tough wood, mid wood. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, the people who love Kinseed are finding me. like I can't tell you. I've had like 3, 4, 5 like plus people hop on and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're streaming Kinseed? Like, I love this," and I can't seem to find anyone who's continuing to put out content.
I have the same thing with Traveler's Rest is happening to me as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the first episodes of Traveler's Rest, that I got that too. Like, because I kept doing it after the initial launch, I think for about 4 or 5 episodes. But then just other stuff took over, you know, like it does. I'll still go back to it. I love Traveler's Rest. I'll go back to it any day. It's just about how much is going on, and September is crazy pants. This week especially, but September is crazy pants. So
actually, that kind of
go ahead.
That kind of segues us into what we're looking forward to next. And I think Bloomtown is the one that's on everyone's minds at the moment.
Oh my gosh, Bloomtown. I'm internally like screaming. I'm so excited for Bloomtown.
The art style had me immediately.
Yes.
The only thing that I could see me not playing it is because I don't enjoy turn-based combat, but I did enjoy the demo. I don't know how far I would get into the game, but everything else about the game, like the whole life sim aspect, is so good.
So good.
So good.
So good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I like turn-based. So that to me, like, that's one of those things, like, I love it. One of my favorite games that I played, I want to say like 10 plus times growing up all the way through, was N64 Paper Mario.
Oh,
And that's
yep.
turn-based. That's turn-based.
Yes.
That was one of my go-tos. I adore that. I still adore it. It is my nostalgia play. Hands down.
It's kind of funny you say that because I think we're showing ages here because mine is Mario RPG.
Yes.
Mario RPG and Chrono Cross. I loved turn-based as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anymore as an adult,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm old.
We both are. It's fine.
But Mario RPG and Paper Mario was the successor to Mario RPG.
It was. Yep. And which I still haven't been able to pick up Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, which re-released this year on Nintendo. I have it. I haven't been able to pick it up, like, with all of the other stuff going on, but it'll be there. It'll be there. It'll be there in the backlog. Which, speaking of the backlog, like, I try to use it. Like, I try to be really intentional with my backlog. You know about the polls I have during the week that tend to be sabotaged intentionally by Ty. People have now, like, made it a goal among my subscribers to try and tie the polls, because
really?
At first it just at first it started happening by accident, but then people are like, nah, this is our thing now. And so they started trying to, like, do the ties intentionally, and it's been so funny. It's hilarious every single time. I never know what it's going to be. I'm always surprised, but I try to pull up games for Tuesdays that are, if there's not too many releases that week or that month, I try to pull up 4 different games as an option for Tuesday, which I call it my toss-up Tuesday. And they are either games from my backlog that I have never played, games that I have not played in a very long time that I would like to pick up again, or just games that I've been wanting to play that are older games that, like, I loved it and I want to pick it up again. And I'll just let the subscribers decide. But it's been a really good way to start, like, investing time into these ones that have just been there, just sitting there collecting dust. And then they've been some of the most fun ones. Like, Don't Starve Together was hilarious and so much fun. That was a multiplayer Monday one, though, which I'm not doing Mondays anymore. So, but
is your multiplayer day gone because Monday's gone, or?
Yeah, I was running into too many issues hosting and getting good quality while trying to stream with these games. And so that was one factor. There's also just, like, real life factors, like capacity and other things that I need to be getting done, quality of the stuff that I'm putting out when I'm putting stuff out, like, etc., so on and so forth. So it wasn't just like a 1 point factor for it, but I am still going to be trying to, on Discord, if you're part of my Discord, I am going to still be trying to do a multiplayer day on Monday, just later in the day. So if you want to join Discord and play games with us, like, all together, come hang out. One of us will be streaming it on Discord. So, yeah. But what about your backlog? What does that look like for you?
So my backlog is mostly games I have played an episode or two, and then just other new games just came out and just took precedence. I'm actually looking at going back to them because there's just so many big games coming out, and none that I'm really super interested in jumping on board with at the moment.
Except Bloomtown.
But my backlog, I don't think I'm actually going to jump on board with Bloomtown. I think there's going to be, I don't think I'm going to like it enough as far as the combat goes. I'll definitely watch the heck out of it.
My face is shock. I'm shook.
I know it is so good. The demo was great, but it's not a game I'm going to stick with long enough for me to justify getting it.
That's fair.
My backlog
No shade. That's fair. I completely understand. I want to make sure you're not like, oh, Kotzy, you judged me. No. I completely understand. Like, we all have different things that we love.
Yeah,
So,
and also like the number of requests for Traveler's Rest edited content. So like the new money making guide and what I just talked about earlier, I'm gonna need time to do those too as well.
right. Right.
So my backlog is continuing Fields of Mystery. Oh, were you gonna say something? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that creating videos like that, like curated videos on a topic, takes so much longer. They take so much longer. Like you get like an hour-long video, you've spent 8 hours creating that video. At
Yeah,
least.
probably. It
A lot of
takes
the
at least
time.
an hour. Yeah, I'd say about an hour or more, depending on
Yeah.
how big the content is, just to write the script. And then
Yep.
you gotta voice the script, and then you gotta find the content that
Right.
goes along with your script, like almost storyboard it, basically.
Yeah, or just replay it. Because I was attempting to
Yeah.
make a tips and tricks, which fell through, and I feel so bad. I still have it, but I had to start replaying just to know where
Yes.
certain things were in the log of video content that I had. You know, like I couldn't take the time to pour over 12 hours of content to find a 20-second clip. Like,
Yeah, the reason I actually have a level 5 character ready to go for that first stream when I came back is because I'd not only played one file, but 2 files.
yeah.
Just to get content for my original levels 1 to 5 money making guide. So
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, it is a time investment. And yeah, hats off to you, because that's something I'm still trying to dip my toe into, is editing video and video content. And like the closest I've come is like gameplay videos, you know, like of like demos, or just like an hour and a half of the first like hour and a half of a game or something like that. And I'll have like moments that I have to pause or do other things like that, and I'll have to like cut off the end and like the beginning, because I'll start too early and I'll end or I'll start early and like leave space and everything, like leave gaps. But like that's the extent for me right now. Or voicing over something that I didn't do well. Like, but that's the extent. That's all I got right now. I have not like done a full on edited video, and I've attempted to, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm trying to think, but I don't think I actually started edited content until Kinseed came out. So I think I was like a year and a half into my channel before I started doing edited content.
And I'm over here like, dive into the deep end. Let's go.
Hey,
4
it
months
works.
in.
Everybody has their own path, and for me, I'm a slow and steady. It's just how I've always been. I need to like slowly acclimate myself before I get ready to just throw myself in.
Yeah, and I'm
I
still
didn't even do
working on
live
it.
streams right away.
Yeah. See, live streams is where I thrive. Live streams, it's like it is so energizing, and like it's fun for me. That's my social. Like that's my socialization.
And you're very social and like energetic and upbeat when you stream, and sometimes I feel like I'm just like a monotone robot trying to exist when I stream.
I saw this comment yesterday, I think it was on Discord, like, you're still the best melatonin on YouTube.
What?
Someone called you the best melatonin on YouTube still.
Like, are you
just
serious?
So soothing. Yeah.
And weirdly, I feel like I have such a like loud, monotone voice when I talk in real life. And it's like, to me, it sounds annoying in my own head. So I have been getting comments about how much people like my voice and how much they like falling asleep to my stuff. And it blows my mind.
I was one of those people, because I've been following you for what, 2 years now?
Probably, yeah.
Like, inspirations for me: Make Way for Cat, Josh's Gaming Garden. Like, those are the two. Like, those are really the two that like pushed it off. And I had like people who were really supportive, like just like on like a friend, like a social level, like Migi, Monkey, shout out to you, like Jojo, Jessica, tons of people from your channel, tons of people from Josh's channel. People have just been crazy supportive. And I think part of the reason for that is because I built a community prior to starting to stream.
You did.
You know? Like, I have 2 years of following you, and I have over 2 years of following Josh. And I was fairly active during a good portion of those 2 years. So, honestly, that's the only reason I'm succeeding. That and
I wouldn't say that's the only reason.
That and consistency. Like those are the only two. I guess I'm like semi fun to listen to sometimes.
Oh, you're definitely fun to listen to. Okay. Consistency is a big one for streaming though, and that's something I know it's kind of like an unspoken rule. Like you want to be consistent when you stream. I break that a lot. It's something I want
respect to you
remedy.
Too. Because you do it for really good reasons. Like, respect to you for doing that and making sure, like, you take care of yourself and your real life and your boundaries, you know? So, just...
Yeah.
Before we go into that.
Half the time I'm like, oh, man, why can't I just do something consistently? I'm like, oh, yeah, I still work a 9-to-5 job. And even if YouTube does pay out to be really good and I could quit my job over it, I never will. I will never be so big that I quit my 9-to-5. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Yeah, it's ephemeral. Like, it's not a concrete foundation. Like, it could just all go up one day. Like, that's the scary thing about it, is like you could get canceled. And I honestly don't think like our niche of the internet is really like that. I don't see there being like I think that's probably one of the smallest areas, like smallest possibilities there is, but it could, like, which is one of those crazy things, because it's dependent on, you know, people liking you. That's it. That's all it is. Which I like you. I think you're great.
Oh, thank you.
I think everyone should like you.
And I think everyone should like you.
Follow Cat, guys. Follow Cat.
Follow Kotzy, guys. Follow Kotzy.
Kotzy.
No, Kotzy. Oh, I was just thinking that there was a time where I because you were active in my channel, I didn't know how to pronounce your name, so I called you Kotzy the whole time. And that's like, no, it's Kotzy, like cozy. Kotzy, like cozy. Follow Kotzy. And every so often my brain is like, but which one was it again?
I know, it's like, but really, is it really?
Yeah.
No, I completely get you. Yeah. No, and it's completely fair. It's a weird one. So.
Speaking of weird, look at me trying to segue stuff.
Rekka? Tell me about Rekka.
Actually, I don't really know much about the game. As much as I've seen it, I want to play it. I don't know if I will jump on the train per se yet, because I'm still trying to get back into the whole streaming and obviously the Traveler's Rest edited content.
Right.
But what a creepy, cozy looking game.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
I love one of the kind of niches I've fallen into is like witchy sims. I love them so much. I didn't realize I like them as much as I do until I started playing them on my channel. But yeah, it is so chill, and like the walking houses, so creepy.
The walking chicken house is fantastic.
Yeah, the walking chicken house
so much. Yeah, this is like a Baba Yaga type of witchery. Like, it's not even like the classic, like, I want to say like Americanized, like North American, like imagination of a witch. It is like Slavic. It is Scandinavian. Like, its entrenched roots are not from North America. That's for sure. So if you guys know anything about Baba Yaga, like this is the basis for this game. And it just, it's so deliciously creepy. That's like the only way I can say that.
I started to watch Gab Smolders play a little bit of it, and they're just like, oh, creepy rumors of a witch.
Yep.
And like your whole, it's like, I'm going to find that witch. We're going to be that witch.
Exactly. And I think there's only about like 4 to 6 hours of gameplay right now. It is early access as well. So there's not like a whole lot there. But you want to know who streamed it that I was totally shocked?
Who?
Josh. Josh
Did he?
streamed Rekka. I looked at his schedule and I was like, hold up, who's playing? What game are you playing? What? Because he doesn't really do like the creepy ones normally. Like, or
No,
ones
he's
that
normally
have
like
kind of like a
straight up farm
noir.
sims.
Yeah, he does like the
Mm-hmm.
farm sims or like the really like lighter cozy ones. I was so like
Mm-hmm.
pleasantly surprised. Let me just like also say that. I was so pleasantly surprised and I loved it. It was such a fun stream. The parts that I watched of it, it was so good. But yeah, Josh from Josh's Gaming Garden did it. And I was like, yes. I love that this is getting recognized. I love that he was intrigued by it. But yeah, and this
Yeah.
is currently an EA. It's $17.99 USD on Steam. It came out on Thursday, so literally yesterday, the 12th. And this is developed by Amber Storm Entertainment, which I think this is their first game, at least that's on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's published by Fireshine Games, who did Core Keeper and Tales of Seikyu.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, which Core Keeper, their 1.0 last month. Fantastic. Loving it.
I have Core Keeper. I have not played it since the early access. I should do that. I should
Oh,
definitely do
you
that.
should. That's a good
I'm a
one.
big
That's a good
Terraria
one.
fan, so yeah, absolutely.
You would love it. You would love it. You should hop on multiplayer on Monday. We should play Core Keeper.
Monday, maybe.
But yeah, so those are the ones that we're looking forward to. These are now that we're talking about like the ones that we're looking forward to
Yeah.
that got pushed off. So, which one were you
Mirthwood.
looking more forward to? You were looking more forward to Mirthwood?
I don't know if I. So, so the two games we're going to be talking about here are Mirthwood and To Pixelia,
Yep.
and I like Mirthwood more than Pixelia at the moment because of its storybook art style, more because of because it's an RPG. Like, yeah, it's a life sim farming RPG
Mm-hmm.
with some survival elements, and I think survival elements, depending on how they're done, kind
Mm-hmm.
of come out of the cozy territory for me. If the survival elements are too intense, I usually bail. Like, it's not fun for
Yeah.
me.
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah, which you
but to
could be struck with
Pixelia,
blight. Like your crops could be struck
yeah.
with blight. You could get sick from some kind of like disease coming through. I think it's going to be
Hmm.
harder than Echoes of the Plum Grove
That's
for
what I
sure.
was just gonna say. If it's similar to Echoes of the Plum Grove, it'd be great, but we'll see.
I think it's going to be a little bit harder. I think they're going to be a little
It
bit
seems like
more.
it.
It seems like they're going to be a little bit more intense from at least from the
Yeah.
trailers and from. I did that demo like 3 times. I loved it. I love that demo. I love
I
kind
have
of like
not
the
played the demo.
D&D
Oh.
intro like to it where you pick
Ooh.
like you're an aristocrat, you're a peasant, you're a noble, and it's like card format
Oh, I
and
love D&D.
it's so
I need to
good.
play this demo.
Yes, it's so good. You should definitely play the demo. And then when it first came out, I think it was during Next Fest. This is what I'm talking about. I did like the 3 different times, and I think the
Hmm.
demo is still out right now. I don't think it's going anywhere, and I know that they're going to be doing. Anyways, sorry, I'll dive back into that in just a second. But I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, and then like the background that you come from, so you're like a farmer, you're a warrior, you're this that, and like it. One was like a rat catcher, and it depend like it will level your social skills, your farming skills, your combat skills, etc., so on and so forth. And it was just so much fun. It was so interesting. And it starts off like you're in a war, like you're literally in the middle of a war. Your country is in the middle of war and you're just trying to make it to the dock. Like to sail
Wow.
away from your continent to a new world. And it was so interesting and fun, and you can play to be like a good character, like there's a morality scale,
Hmm.
or you can play to be a bad character. You can steal from people, like you can kill people.
And there's like Sims style dialogue, so you can be rude as you want to people if that's your jam.
Yeah, yeah. You can choose to be rude to people. You can choose to be kind. You can flirt. You can do whatever. You kind of like feel out what people do. You can make rude jokes. It's one of them. You don't like see the full on dialogue. You just make the choice, and they kind of like have little emojis pop out, and like they have either have like a negative or a positive or neutral reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's really good. It was so much fun. I did not enjoy the art style at first, but I grew to love it because
Really?
I liked the gameplay. Yes, yes. It
I
was a
think it's
little
because
odd to me. Go
yeah.
ahead.
I mean, I've played Witchwood, and that kind of introduced me to that storybook art style.
True.
It does take a little bit of getting used to because it's different. Like when in this game space, we're usually used to like either pixels or like the full 3D rendered models and things like that. Here we go. It's like basically a painting that's moving.
Right. Right. And I do love it now. I don't think I've ever I'm trying to think of an instance where artwork or graphics deterred me from enjoying a game. And I can't think of one that had a good game where I didn't change my opinion. So really like the gameplay ultimately influences whether I will end up liking it or not. Like it'll
Mm-hmm.
sway me one way or another. So, yeah. But yeah, Mirthwood, I literally 2 days. It was supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be out on oh gosh, what was it? 11th, the 11th, Wednesday this week. On the 9th is when they put out an announcement. 2 days before it was supposed to be released is when they put out an announcement that they were going to push it back almost 2 months to November 6th.
Yeah.
And I that is the only thing that left me salty. Their reasons are great reasons I fully support. Absolutely 100%. There are certain features of the game that they're trying to add like and get fully implemented into it. The quality is just not where they want it to be. They have some like tweaks for quality of life that they still need to make. Among other like just like good reasons. It's just not polished enough. It's not where they want it to be for like that full release. But
Mm-hmm.
man, 2 days before the official release date that you've already announced like 2 weeks prior to that,
Yep.
that I mean, they put out a demo, I think, when they re-released the demo when they announced the release date or even before that. So they had like I want to say 2+ weeks of people playing the demo and giving feedback and doing that like before this point. I
Mm-hmm.
would think they would have known prior to that 2 days before it's supposed to be released that it wasn't going to be ready and that they wanted to push it off. And maybe it took a lot more conversations with like their publisher or something like that
Yeah.
about rescheduling, and I have grace with it, but it still left me a little salty.
Yeah, and
I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
hard. It's hard for like streamers and content creators because you kind of make yourself a schedule week to week, and so you're
Right.
kind of planning days or weeks ahead in advance so you know what you're doing. So
Yep.
having something like this comes in and blows up your schedule is, it's not fun. It's not fun
It
at
can be
all.
very disruptive. Yeah, it can be really disruptive and frustrating. But I mean, like, I'm more just like irked with it, and I could move past it pretty quickly. I just did another day of Critter Cove. Oh no, I did Kinseed on Wednesday. I did
Yeah,
like
Kinsey.
that's what I did, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I moved it, and it was fine. And I ultimately, it's not going to stop me from playing the game. I'm still super stoked for the game. But I do just think that a small piece could have been handled, like the timing could have been handled a little bit differently. But I do understand also having to work with your publisher and convince them, hey, please push it off, because the publisher is there like to make sure it gets released and make
Hmm.
sure like that the date is firm, and like they're pushing more, you know, and making sure if it ever gets ported that it gets ported properly, blah blah blah. But like they're not really as invested, I want to say, as in the game and in the details of the game as the devs are. For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not their baby. It's not their baby. So, not their monkey, not their circus.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, so really excited about that one still. Looking forward to it. It's going to be November 6th now instead. Then we have
and then
Pixelia.
yes, 2 Pixelia is like it's a pixel art kind of simplified version of The Sims basically.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the demo. They kind of forced you to take a job in the restaurant really early, and
Yeah.
I blew it so badly my first
Did you
round.
really?
But when I played it again, I was terrible. It took me a little bit to like understand what was happening. But once you get
Okay.
the rhythm of it, it's cake. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I actually didn't know it was coming out in September because I literally was on hiatus for like most of August and like the first chunk of September, and I didn't make my upcoming videos or upcoming games in September video that I usually do. So I had no idea it was slated to come out in September until you told me that it was moving to next year.
Yep. Yep. So it is, and the announcement. So this is another aspect why people don't know who have been trying to follow 2 Pixelia. I follow them on Discord, which is how I found out about it because they made an announcement on their Discord. They did not make a Steam announcement. They just took it from Q3 2024 and now it's to be announced.
Yep.
Or something like that. Well, in their Discord, they explained why. It's very similar reasons to Mirthwood. They want to add different features. They want to make sure different things are optimized. Like they want to polish on it. It's just not there. It's just not ready, which is fair. Totally fair. I don't mind that. Like transparency and openness and honesty from dev teams, like here for it all day, every day. You take the time that you need to make the game the best version of it possible. But they could have announced this in a better way because what they said is it is going to be likely released, like the goal to be released is now between Q1 and Q2 of 2025. They specifically said March and April, but that's like that cusp between Q1 and Q2 of 2025. But they're not announcing it to the vast majority of the people looking forward to the game. They're announcing it to maybe 20% of the people who are following the game on their Discord instead of making... Go ahead, sorry.
I'd say 20% is high. I would say it's probably more like 5 to 10% because
I'm trying to be generous.
I have a marketing background, so what I see here is Discord is like an end goal. There's like in the realm of marketing, once you get someone on board, then you go into what's considered like a loyalty program where you get them to keep coming back. To me, Discord is like a loyalty program. You are fully invested. Likely, if you are in their Discord, you are already planning to or have purchased whatever it is. So
or would
those
like
are your core audience. Yeah. Obviously, the game's not out yet, but everyone that's in there has probably already played the demo, probably has plans and ideas of how they're going to play the game when they go into it.
But what they're content creators.
Yeah, content creators. I'm a content creator, and I only follow like 3 Discords, and those are games I've played, and like they did really well on my channel, and so now I just keep the Discord on the back server because I don't actually know why. I just have them, so I know what's going on.
Loyalty.
Yeah, probably. Like the devs know who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the only reason I follow them. I have ADHD, so to have so many Discord channels, I would lose my mind.
Right. You got to keep it just down to what you absolutely need or want to follow.
Yeah. So you have the core of your marketing is not going to see that. It's going to be on their wish list in Steam likely, and if they know that it's coming out in September, they're going to wonder why. Like, oh wait, it's October. I didn't see an email from Pixelia.
Right. Yeah, I was checking almost weekly because it was Q3, I've been checking almost weekly for like 2.5 months, like trying to see like if there's been an announcement, if there's been a date update, etc. You know, like just on Steam. And I
Oh,
eventually
so they
followed their
didn't.
Discord.
So they didn't actually say what release date. It was just Q3.
Yeah, there was never an official date. It was always Q3 2024. Um,
Hmm.
and so I will give them that. Like they never gave a
Well,
firm release date.
September is the end of Q3, so for them to
Exactly.
switch it like at the end of September, again, it's like a last minute thing.
Yeah, and so I mean, like I was like, they're in the last minutes of when they can get it, basically, like in terms of
Hmm.
like Q3, um, and so they made the announcement, but they didn't make it on Steam. They just put to be announced. They didn't put a devlog. They didn't put an update. They didn't put a blog. Nothing, which I think was a
Yeah,
big miss for them.
I
Like
agree.
big
Absolutely
missing
agree.
communication. Big missing communication. They should have just like copied and pasted. Like that's all they had to do. And I'm not
Yes.
understanding why they didn't just do that. Copy and paste to the Steam page so that people understood what was going on and knew it was going to be a bit longer. And so they weren't just like sitting there like on tenterhooks waiting, you know?
Yeah.
Um, or having questions, because the other thing is like you're sitting there and like once you like remember to check it, you go back to check. They were like, oh yeah, it was supposed to be like Q3, and then you go back and it's now to be announced. Like, what happened? What's going on? Like, you just have questions and then there's no information.
Yeah. I wonder if it's something along the lines of Steam is kind of like a permanent home.
Mm-hmm.
Discord, stuff keeps moving, stuff keeps moving. You're not likely going to be scrolling back a lot because, there a lot of conversation happens all the time. But in Steam, it's kind of like a museum of all of your posts as you go. And so
Right.
like the most recent thing you're going to see is, oh, by the way, we messed up. Or
I
maybe
don't.
that's what they feel
Maybe,
because
yeah.
as a content creator and a gamer myself, I don't see having to push your game back as a mess up. It's just,
No,
it's just something that happens.
it's just life. I
Sometimes,
mean, I
yeah.
feel like we make plans with hopeful expectations, like as
Hmm.
creators. We make plans with hopeful expectations. I know that my to-do list is usually like I'm only doing about 75 to 50% of it. I don't announce all of it, but like I on my to-do list that I make, like I make a weekly like little thing with like videos I'd
Hmm.
like to make, etc., so on and so forth. It is a hopeful expectation of what I will actually be able to achieve. I don't know if I've completed it a single time. I don't know if I've actually gotten every single thing I wanted to do done a single time. Like, and I can't imagine like the scale that you have to like make that larger to do that for a full game.
Hmm.
Because then you're like getting input from people in alpha, beta, in early access, in your demos, of suggestions of how things are not working, of bugs and errors and stuff that you have to fix, but also things that you want to add on, also things you want to refine, like or tweak or whatever. And so I don't know if I've ever come across like a game that's done by indie devs that comes out exactly when they tell you that it's going to. I
Even
don't.
my time at Sandrock had a month pushback.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Like I don't
It's
think I've
so
come across
common.
a
It's
single
just a
one.
thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing, and it's an expectation. Like maybe it shouldn't be, but I am fine with it. I know what I'm getting into. I know what to expect with that. And some of these games, like
Hmm.
I'm fully supportive of them taking the time. They're small teams. They're people who haven't
Usually, yeah.
done games like this before to this scale. You know, like there some people, some devs are like doing the publishing as well. You know, like
Hmm.
it's a hard thing. It's a learning curve. It's a constant learning, like every single day. And I am fully supportive of them taking their time to make a quality game. Don't push it out before it's ready. Don't
Yeah.
don't be Coral Island. Sorry.
You had
Sorry,
to
not
throw a jab
sorry.
in there, didn't
I
you?
had to. I love Coral
Ooh.
Island, okay? You know
Me
I
too,
love
but I
Coral
felt that
Island,
burn. I felt that
but
burn.
but
You mean
We
the
all
releasing
know.
half of the game at 1.0?
We
Is that
all
what you're
know
talking
that
about?
game wasn't finished. We all know. So don't be Coral
Mm-hmm.
Island. Like, and I feel like a lot of that was peer pressure and hype from the game. So I understand it because IRL,
More than
I
likely,
lived.
more than likely, more than
Go ahead.
likely, peer pressure and hype is actually the stakeholders. There's probably people at the top that are looking
That's
for that money.
true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, and don't get me wrong, even if it was just like peer pressure and hype, like I was a doormat for a real long time IRL, so I'm a recovering doormat, guys. So,
Same,
recovering people
same.
pleaser, so
Yep.
I completely understand. And I just want you to grow. I just want you to I want you to be stronger, for you and for your games. That's it. That's it. End of statement, period. That's it.
Yes. And now let's talk about a good game that we're anticipating is a good game because the
So
last two
excited.
were amazing, and that is Pethia's announcement that they're working on the third My Time game, which is My Time at Evershine.
Yay!
I did
So
not think in
excited.
a million years we'd get this announcement so soon.
No,
Oh, I'm
because it
so
was supposed
excited.
to be Project Me, the phone game.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like
The mobile game.
yep, that went all the way to alpha.
Mm-hmm. A year ago.
And yeah, a year ago. And then we didn't like hear anything about it from then.
Yep.
And so My Time at Evershine.
Evershine.
From what I understand from a video that Lexi Plays Games put out, another YouTuber, another streamer, which we will link her video down below.
Yep.
So that you guys can go ahead and look at this content too. She was an alpha player for My Time, the My Time at ME or
Project
Me
ME.
or Project ME. Yeah,
Project
sorry.
ME.
Yeah, it wasn't even like titled My Time.
It wasn't.
For the mobile game. She was an alpha player. From what I understand from her video, they actually pivoted because it just wasn't turning out to be what they wanted. Project Me wasn't on the mobile game. They weren't getting the response that they wanted. They weren't getting the game that they wanted. And so they're pivoting into another My Time project, which is now My Time at Evershine. So
I 100% support this decision.
Me too. All here for it. My hand is raised. I'm here for it. But that's why, Kat, you were saying earlier, you noticed that like half of the characters from Project Me are in Project or are in My Time at Evershine.
Yeah, and a couple of them have had like different like changes. They've kind of aged up. The one, I think her name is Panna.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave everything Rudy. They put glasses on him. I support, by the way.
Glasses all the way.
Yeah,
and also I support
at
the
least
age
half
up.
the cast. Yeah,
I like a not 20s or teens character for sure. I like a 30s
that's
plus.
because we're old. That's because we're old.
We're the ones with money, though.
We can't.
We're the ones with money.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me my age-appropriate thirst, people. Sorry. I mean, and it doesn't have to be every game. Just come on, give me one. Give me one NPC.
I agree. Okay, so I've been playing World of Warcraft, and there's a brand new character that they added. His name is Dagran, and I simped from him the very first day. I was like, "This, hell yeah!" And just a couple of days ago, I learned from the lore. He's a half Dark Iron dwarf, half Bronzebeard elf, or Bronzebeard dwarf. He's canonically 17 years old, and I was like, "Nope, all done. Blizzard, you need to be upfront, okay? He looks like he's 30. Please let him be 30.
That's mean. That's just mean.
So mean.
He trolled you hard.
He's ADHD coded because he says things like, "Oh, sorry, I just got distracted."
Right.
But he is like the brains of the operation. No 17-year-old knows how to fix um, millennia old water pipes, okay?
Yeah, no.
There's no way. There's no way he is 17. He has not
Yeah.
studied that much to know. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at Blizzard.
Yeah. And
Age
then we have
appropriate,
Errol
okay?
from Fields of Mystria.
Errol. Errol from Fields of
Errol,
Mystria?
he's the very fancy elderly gentleman with the fabulous mustache who
Oh,
runs the
okay.
museum.
Yes.
I have some hard Errol simps. And
Yeah?
we have some hard Errol and Ulrich.
Oh,
And
yes, I remember Ulrich.
Thirst. We have some hard thirst, and only one of those three is an eligible NPC. And it's the youngest one. It's the youngest one.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Come on. Give us age appropriate.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
simps.
He's actually middle. He's actually the middle one. I'm sorry. Hayden's in the middle. Ulrich is the youngest one. My bad.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I think he's probably like late 30s, early 40s. If I had to age him out, Hayden, the rancher.
Yeah.
So, but there's some hard thirst for Errol. In people who subscribe to my channel, there's some hard thirst for Ulrich, which I'm on that train too.
Yes, I remember that.
I mean, he at least seems like late 20s, but he's the most lovable himbo. He really is. He's just the most lovable himbo. Like, he's just so precious.
I just Googled Fields of Mystria Ulrich to remind myself what he looked like, and one of the top search result is a Reddit that says, "Why can't I date Ulrich?" in all caps.
Like, I feel like they're getting probably so much pressure in Discord, or not Discord because they don't have a Discord. But like in Steam, like in the discussions, probably getting so much. There is so much thirst for Ulrich. I would be genuinely surprised if they don't eventually make him a romanceable NPC. And I would actually be a little disappointed, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Fields of Mystria is also early access, right?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't feel like it for the first year, but yes, it is still is still early access. That is like, that's like the pinnacle of early access games. Like, I don't think I've played a game that feels more finished that's in early access than probably Fields of Mystria. That's probably like that is like the top echelon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the first year it doesn't feel like it's early access. You can get through the entire first year almost, like, and it doesn't feel like it's early access. But after the first year, that's when the story kind of like tapers off, and you can't do any more romancing with your characters and all that. But like prior to that point, nah, feels like a finished game. So, extreme polish. Better than a lot of like full release games, if I'm being honest.
So you never played Project Me, right?
Nope. I was not one of the people behind that. I'm tiny. What are you talking about?
What's that?
I was like, I'm tiny. My channel's tiny. Nobody's asking me to be on games.
I never really got anyone to ask me to play it either, but that's because it's a mobile game, and I don't really play mobile games on my channel. I mean, I know Josh played it. Josh was part of the alpha.
Yeah.
And I know from like watching the trailer and the descriptions and stuff that their settlement was called Settlement 7 in Project Me. This time we know it's Evershine. And judging by the logo, there's definitely trees involved, right? If you look at the logo on the N, there's like a tree sapling, and you can tell it's a tree sapling, I'd say, because it has a pink leaf, and then like the big tree in the background is a giant
that
pink
massive
tree.
like center tree behind everybody.
Yeah. And I think there is a giant pink tree in Project Me. So if anyone knows what the relevance of that tree is,
leave a comment down below. Let us know. We'd love to know.
But I'm curious, like, do you have the map of the Sandrock map handy? Because I have it up.
I don't.
And I'm curious where you think that Evershine is.
I haven't done the deep dive like you have. I'm gonna be full on honest here. I have not done the depth that you have. I just came across information by chance. Thank you,
You
Unky
did.
Plays. Thank you, Unky Plays,
like,
for sharing.
I was like putting my tinfoil hat on, and I was like, Kotzy. And you're like, oh yeah, that's easily explained. And I'm like, that was like an hour of my research you just distilled into like 3 seconds.
I mean, I have wonderful people who research for me. Like, hats off to Homie, Migi, Caro, Blue Sky, Unky Plays. Like, y'all are the real MVPs. Like, because I'll be in the middle of like streaming and people will just look things up and I'm just like, thank you so much. Like, and I cannot express how much I appreciate that because I'll forget 95% of the time. Like the thing I'm supposed to be looking up or I want to know. And then it'll come back to bite me later. Or it'll be something that like sticks in my craw later. I'm like, dang it, I never looked that up. So I full on appreciate my amazing subscribers who look things up for me or just have the information handy and give it to me. You guys are amazing.
I gotta do a shout out for those people in my channel as well.
Yep. Oh, Jess is one.
Yeah.
Jessica's amazing and looks things up. Oh man, she's so on top of. She was the one that told us about Traveler's Rest, and the Kinseed big build update. Yep. So she has her games. I feel like I say the word Kinseed and it like summons her. Literally,
I'm trying to think. I think Kinseed might be when I met Jess.
Oh really?
I think so. She'll probably correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, please. Let us know. I thought she'd followed you from like day one. I thought I remembered her saying she had followed you from like day one.
If she did follow me from day one, she wasn't an active chatter.
Which fair, I wasn't when I first started following people.
Yeah, I also didn't stream.
Yeah,
until Concede, so that's possible.
Right, comments are a lot thinner than general chat in a stream. So, but yep. Okay, well, after that, I think that's kind of all we have for today. What's like? I think the next one we're going to be doing is probably going to be on delightfully spooky cozy games.
Yes,
is that kind of what our next topic is going to be?
Yeah. And what is considered a cozy game, and can cozy games be horror?
Yeah, can cozy games be creepy? Like,
yeah,
probably not for everyone, but
absolutely not for everyone.
But we're gonna hold that off until later. We're gonna hold that conversation off until later.
Yes.
But thank you guys.
Do cozy games have to be wholesome?
Yes. Do they have to be?
Do they have to be wholesome? Let us know. Let us know in the comments below.
Because then there's Graveyard Keeper.
Oh, I love Graveyard Keeper. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're going to end this.
Yep, that's the end. That's the end, guys. Thank you all so much for coming and listening to the podcast. The Fairy First podcast.
We're aiming to do this every other week. So like twice a month is our goal.
Yep. And thank you, Kat, for circling back around. Like we kind of mentioned it in passing when we first did.
In like a joke. Kind of like a joke fashion.
We kind of like joked about it when we did Ever After Falls. But thank you for circling back around and inviting me to do it because I'm thrilled and I love it. And it's so much fun.
Yeah. I'm so glad you were like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. Hit the ground running. So,
all right, that is it for us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Yep. See you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.